The negativity bias. There is a strange imbalance in the mind. One harsh comment can outweigh 10 kind ones. One mistake can eclipse years of effort. One moment of fear can define an entire day. This is not weakness. It is wiring. This is the negativity bias. 1. When the mind leans toward the negative. The negativity bias is the psychological tendency to notice, remember, and be affected more strongly by negative experiences than positive ones. Bad impressions last longer. Bad news travels faster. Bad memories feel heavier. Positive moments pass quietly. Negative ones imprint deeply. The mind does not weigh experiences equally. 2. Why the brain prioritizes threat. From an evolutionary perspective, this bias once kept us alive. Missing a threat was more dangerous than missing an opportunity, so the brain learned to scan for danger first. Threats demanded attention. Pleasure did not. The nervous system evolved to ask one urgent question: what could go wrong? And it still asks it, even when danger is no longer immediate. 3. Attention, memory, and emotional weight. Negative information captures attention more easily. It is processed more deeply, stored more vividly. The brain releases stronger emotional signals in response to threat, loss, or criticism. These signals mark the memory as important, not because it is representative, but because it feels relevant. The mind remembers what hurts to prevent it from happening again. 4. Why positivity feels fragile. Positive experiences are often subtle. They require presence to notice, reflection to remember, repetition to retain. Negativity demands none of that. It interrupts. It alarms. It insists. So even in a life filled with stability, the mind can fixate on what is wrong, not because it dominates reality, but because it dominates attention. 5. The negativity bias in everyday life. This bias shapes daily perception. You replay criticism long after praise is forgotten. You expect the worst outcome, even when evidence suggests otherwise. You notice flaws before strengths, risks before possibilities. In relationships, one conflict outweighs many peaceful moments. In self-perception, one failure defines identity. 6. The bias and self-identity. Over time, negativity bias becomes internalized. The mind constructs narratives based on what went wrong. I always mess things up. Something bad will happen. I'm not enough. These beliefs feel true because they are emotionally familiar. The mind confuses frequency of recall with accuracy. 7. Media, culture, and amplification. Modern environments amplify negativity bias. News prioritizes threat. Social media highlights outrage. Algorithms reward alarm. The brain is flooded with negative cues, not because the world is worse than before, but because negativity holds attention, and attention shapes perception. 8. Awareness without denial. Understanding the negativity bias does not require forced optimism. Ethiax does not ask you to ignore pain. It asks you to recognize distortion. Awareness creates distance between perception and reality. Ask, is this representative or just salient? What am I overlooking? What evidence contradicts this? 9. Rebalancing attention. The negativity bias cannot be erased, but can be balanced. Positive experiences require reinforcement. They must be noticed deliberately, held longer, revisited. This is not self-deception. It is correction. The mind leans negative by default. Responsibility leans toward balance. 10. Responsibility beyond fear. The negativity bias reveals a quiet truth. The mind is built to protect, not to reassure. But protection without perspective becomes distortion. This is Ethiax, where psychology meets responsibility, and responsibility begins when fear no longer defines reality, but is examined within it.